Today is July 28th, 2023, and the reason I am starting in the car is because while we were driving to Universal Orlando today, Universal released the very first Haunted Tales podcast episode for this year's Halloween Horror Nights, and it was so good that we sat in the car to listen to the whole thing before getting out. So earlier today, Halloween Horror Nights announced the full rest of the 2023 lineup. All houses and all scare zones have been announced, right?
Right.
So we came out to see like the scare zone props, do an update, see what's new in the park, but then they released the podcast, right?
Yeah, and if I was not excited before, after listening to it, I'm even more excited.
So they introduced us to this year's, what I guess will be the icon of this year, Dr. Oddfellow, and they gave him a very rich and very compelling backstory. I have shivers, like I had goosebumps listening to that. It was so good. We're gonna talk about which houses and scare zones we're most hyped for. We're gonna see what's new in the park. Let's get to it. But we're just like, I'm just like, whoo, that was so good.
I'm excited.
All right, let's go. Perfect looking summer day here at Universal. The sky is blue, the water is green. I am ready to have some fun. I hope you are too. Check this out. We're coming into Hollywood and I already see new set pieces and decorations out. And because of listening to the podcast, I know that this has to do with the dark Zodiac and Dr. Oddfellow. He taps in to the Zodiac signs. Oh, it says stop. You have to freeze when it says stop. So clearly this scare zone will be dark Zodiac, and it has to do with how Dr. Oddfellow twists the Zodiac signs and brings out the malevolent forces of each. As his star rises, yours fall. So let me know what your Zodiac sign is, because they all have positive attributes and negative attributes. And I'm not like super into it, but I do think it's fun and interesting. I am a Pisces. Sam?
I am a Leo.
We're here at the Five and Dime where they've been dropping Halloween Horror Nights merchandise as it comes out. And today, the new piece of merchandise looks to be for The Exorcist Believer. Now this is interesting because this film doesn't come out until October. So the house will be out before the film is out. Isn't that interesting? They've done that before, right?
Yeah, they did that with one of the Insidiouses. It was part of the Blumhouse house. The movie came out after.
Interesting.
It might be like a good way to get you hyped for that.
True. And here is the new merchandise drop for today. The Exorcist. We shall fear no evil. Ooh, so this shirt is white. It's got the red house with blood dripping, the two sisters. We have on the sleeve, The Exorcist Believer. Does it have anything on the back? Halloween Horror Nights 2023. Instead of a mug, it's a little glass cup here. Shaggy and Velma are out. I think they're looking for a mystery.
Hi.
Hi. Is there a mystery to be solved?
Plenty. Look around, man.
So many monsters.
So many
popped up over here, and I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, they're putting haunted houses on t-shirts now, and I think that's an unwise decision.
Yeah.
I think it's calling in forces that we maybe don't want to mess with.
Yeah.
Exactly. Demonic children's where I draw the line. I'll deal with ghosts and vampires and wolves, but demonic children is a hard line.
Listen, no one ever said Shaggy's not the sensible one, right? They do still have See You in the Fog hats, mugs, and magnets, and they do still have Stranger Things hats, which we're actually gonna pick up this time, and the shirts with Vecna are still out too. We like these because they're mesh on the back. It's so hot in Florida that you really need mesh in the back of the hat or else you're just melting your head. I came in wearing this hat, which does have a bit of mesh here, but this one's even meshier, so I'm gonna switch right now. Excuse my meshier hair. Got hat hair under here. Just gets flattened. Oh, cool. Now I'm ready. We have some jungle ruins looking sets up here in Central Park, and this looks like it will probably be the Jungle of Doom Expedition Horror Scare Zone, which is so cool. Expedition Horror.
I even wore my Expedition hat.
It was meant to be.
Ready for the Jungle Expedition.
Expedition theme park here. Ready for the Expedition Horror.
First time Expedition theme park inside Expedition Horror. It was meant to be.
Meant to be. In the 1920s, Dr. Oddfellow ventured deep into the darkest jungle, performing horrific experiments on nature. Now his monstrous creations are running amok and coming after you. Now this set piece right here looks like a mini stage, so we can imagine maybe, I don't know, Dr. Oddfellow or one of his creations, some characters, some scare actors might be up here wreaking havoc. Such a cool theme for a scare zone, a dark, scary forest, jungle theme. We love it. And I love any kind of stonework when they create these. They just look incredible. They do such a good job with these kind of things. It looks like ancient ruins in the jungle. Now we've got this pillar that's tilting over a little bit, which tells us that this twisted truss, as I named it the other day, copyright 2023, will probably be a pillar that's kind of hanging over. And I'm guessing that these will be like vines, vines of doom, vines of terror. That is awesome.
I think this year is going to be really good.
Me too. We love watching them build this park up for Halloween Horror Nights, and it opens September 1st this year. That is not that far away, and it takes time to build this whole park up, and it's so cool to watch the process, all the creativity. It's amazing. There's a lot more though, so let's keep looking. Now this outdoor bar is normally used as a themed bar during Halloween Horror Nights, during Mardi Gras, and different events, and we don't know what the theme of this will be, but it does lead me to bring up something interesting. Something new was announced this year, Peacock's Halloween Horror Bar. This is brand new, and it says it will feature themed libations within an ominous nightclub vibe, photo opportunities, and more. So we don't know where that will be, if that will be like, we don't know anything much about it besides that, but that sounds really, really cool. So like, whatever it is, sign me up. Let's do it. The Blues Brothers rocking out. And speaking of Halloween Horror Nights food and drinks, we are gonna try to have lunch today at Finnegan's Bar and Grill, one of the coolest places to eat here in Universal Studios, Florida. Let's see if we can get a table. Finnegan's is an Irish themed pub here in Universal Studios, Florida. It is very, very popular for tourists and locals alike. May your blessings outnumber the shamrocks that grow, and may trouble avoid you wherever you go. And there is cool theming everywhere. The vibe is really fun. Lots of people, good drinks, good food. And it's been a while since we've eaten at Finnegan's in a video, so let's do it. And it was about a 15-minute wait, no problem. Let's go. If you watched the video before this, you'll know we're always on the hunt for good fish and chips here in the greater Orlando area, because you know Sam misses them from living in England. So he's gonna try the fish and chips here and add them to the great fish and chips search.
Let's do it. Add them to the search. I wouldn't normally eat like fish and chips twice like in a week.
No.
I feel like now I'm on the hunt.
We're on the hunt, so we're just gonna do it. Yeah. And since when Sam had the fish and chips, I had a shrimp dish, and it was just okay. I'm gonna go for a shrimp dish here that I think is gonna be a lot better. So Sam got the Irish fish and chips. It's North Atlantic fresh codfish and ale batter with wedge fries, served with a side of malt vinegar and tartar sauce. And I got the shrimp boxty, and this is such a pretty presentation. It says pan-seared Gulf shrimp, crispy bacon and leek boxty potato, sauteed summer corn, asparagus, tips, grape tomatoes, and citrus butter sauce. You gotta get that malt vinegar on there. This is crucial. Oh yeah. The fish actually looks flaky and nice and soft. The fish is really good.
Fish is much more like it.
It's really fresh tasting. Yeah. Well, these are both lovely dishes. Very happy. Good dishes. Yeah, those fish and chips are really good.
Yeah.
I love what a great summer dish this is. This is really, really fresh. Good. We're both very much enjoying what we ordered. Gotta love Finnegan's. That was such a good lunch, right?
That was good. Yeah. I enjoyed that a lot.
How'd you like the fish and chips?
Good. Much better than the other days.
Yeah.
The fish was really, really good.
Yeah.
The chips, not like British chips, but they were still nice wedges.
Yeah. Like they were still good potato wedges, but they weren't, you know, fish and chip type of chips. But
fish, good.
The fish was really fresh, really good quality tasting. And my dish, they told me that's a newer dish on the menu. And I just want to say my compliments to the chef, because it was so good. You tried it too, right?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, so the boxty had like bacon and different flavors inside of it. And the shrimp was really fresh. It was a very like summery type of dish, but I feel like it could work well into fall. I hope they keep it on the menu because it was really, really good. If
I close my eyes when I was eating the fish, I thought I could be walking down the pier at Western Supermare right now. And then I remembered I was not, but good fish. Yeah, okay, so great lunch. We love Finnegan's. And now we have more to show you around the park. We came out the other day when they first put the stage up, and it looks so cool. Music Fest 69, and now it's officially been announced what this is for. Vamp 69 Summer of Blood. At a 60s music fest in a small New York town, you'll jam to popular bands with fellow concert goers until Dr. Oddfellow unleashes vicious vampires on the audience. They're out for your
blood. Since we were here the other day, they've added these barriers up. So I'm really glad that we got a look at what was behind them. The design is just incredible. They've also added a ton of speakers to the stage. So I wonder if it's gonna actually be live performing bands, or are these just props and they'll just be playing music? We'll see. And right across the way, we have these towers of lights and speakers. The spotlight up here looks really cool. The Xenon Trooper. It kind of almost looks vintage in a way. It's just got a cool look about it. That wasn't here last time either, or at least we didn't see it. And now that we've listened to the Spooky Story podcast story of Dr. Oddfellow, his backstory with the vampires, this all makes so much more sense, and it makes it so much cooler. You know, it's not that he's in cahoots with the vampires, it's more that he's trying to take them over. He's trying to gain power from the council and like have them buy into his story. It's just, the storytelling they're doing for this year is fantastic. Fantastic, actually. This is the original location of the tribute stores for Halloween Horror Nights, Mardi Gras, holidays, all of that. But recently they moved the locations over to Hollywood, and people have been saying, you know, it would be back here for Halloween Horror Nights at the original location. And based on the description Universal has put out, it's clear that will be the case, and what a cool concept. And it also ties into that comic book that we saw in the Jurassic Park tribute store in my last video earlier this week. If you saw that, it's all tying together. It's exciting to watch all the little pieces come together. Here in New York, they've also added these string lights, perfect for a music festival. Here's another one. These look like they could be booths for like the concert merch for the music festival. We can see like some pops of color sticking out here, but we can't see what's in there yet. But I love seeing these signs because they make it real. Pardon our dust. We're in the process of transforming our park for Universal Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights, the nation's premier Halloween event. I love it. On our last few visits, we saw these white tubes all along the water, and it looks like they are now gone. So we're guessing they were empty and they had wiring inside of them, or, you know, cables, whatever. And either they're underwater, like with the cables, they put them in place, or whatever the case may be. That is all settled down right now. It looks good. And we still don't know if there's a nighttime show on the lagoon coming, but hopefully. This is just such a beautiful park. I love it. And now we're heading into San Francisco, where we've got our next Scare Zone announcement. Here in San Francisco, we will have Shipyard 32 Horrors Unhinged. 32 because it's the 32nd year of Halloween Horror Nights here. Enter a 1940s San Francisco shipping yard full of mysterious crates and cages bearing Dr. Oddfellow's symbol. Beware, his nightmarish oddities have now escaped, spreading fear and chaos in their wake.
Exciting. I was just thinking about how this year a lot of the houses and scare zones are covering like different decades.
Yeah, so we're like traveling through time with Dr. Oddfellow in his story, just like the podcast episode. It kind of traveled through times, right? Yeah, we've got the jungle set in the 20s, the music festival set in the 69, the end of the 60s. We've got San Francisco set in the 40s.
Oddfellow's house and story in the carnival is in the 30s with Jack.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether we will do that in the house.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Like the story originates in the 30s.
Yeah.
The vampire talks about it.
There's a lot of varied but linked stuff this year, and that's what makes me really excited.
Me too. It was cool how she did like the drops of blood. Like with this blood, you'll like hear my memory. Whew, I can't get over it. Okay, let's keep going. No major new sets or props have been added to San Francisco, but just a lot of lights and speakers and trusses. It's still Truss Francisco for now. The Twisted Truss is still here, and it looks like there's another one next to it. If I remember correctly, there's more being added, so I feel like any day now we're gonna see some sets up here. We still have this frame here, and all of this framework here built up where there will probably have a little bar back here as they've done in the past. Maybe it'll be related to the Shipyard Scare Zone, hopefully. That'd be really cool. In my last update video, we talked about the possibility of Death Eaters or some sort of a spooky show coming to Diagon Alley this year. That has not been announced, but we did see some framework in there that looked like it, so check out my last video if you want more details on that. Since I already showed it, we'll just keep moving. It is interesting that with all the announcements that came out today, nothing came out about this, so who knows, maybe it won't be connected to Halloween Horror Nights at all. It'll just be something totally different, but we will see. Over here at the Fear Factor stage, for the past few years, we have had Nightmare Fuel, and they will be back this year with Nightmare Fuel Revenge Dream. This new show features a new dreamer confronting the creature that's been turning her dreams into nightmares. So it looks like it'll be a new take on the show they've done the past couple of years. They do magic tricks and fire dancing, and they use music, and it's a really fun sort of dance, fire, magic, mystery type of show. It's a lot of fun, and it's back for this year. It looks like a frame has been added here, so that means this looks like it will be a house entrance. Once again, taking us back to the houses that are back there, sort of by the parade tents and all of that. It looks like a lot of the construction walls up in the Simpsons area are down. There are still some over here, but this area is much more open now. We talked about the new DreamWorks land that they are building back here where Kid Zone used to be, and we can see construction going on. The walls kind of keep moving, the construction walls, so I think we'll just see progress going on this constantly until it opens in 2024. We're now on the other side of the Jungle of Doom Expedition Horror. This is like a callback to a 2003 house they had called Jungle of Doom. I love how they construct ruins. Look at the vines all over this. It looks all mossy. When set artists create sets and scenes with a patina, with age to them, that is my absolute favorite kind of set making. It's one of my favorite parts of the art of set making, just aged structures like crumbling ruins and bricks and moss and vines and crumbling castles, ancient ruins, anything like that. That's my favorite kind of set making type of thing.
So what's also interesting is that in 2003 at Horror Nights 13 there was a haunted house called Jungle of Doom. So this is a throwback to that old house. That house was in the Triceratops encounter, which was in Alice Adventure and no longer exists. So this is cool to see like an old house coming back as a scare zone.
You just made me think of something. Another of the houses they announced, and we're going to talk about the houses in a minute, is a throwback to an attraction from Islands of Adventure also.
I'm so excited.
Ooh, all right, we're gonna talk about the houses. Let's make our way. Not much else new here, but we can definitely see the jungle theme coming to life. All right, let's talk about the 10 haunted houses that have now been announced. We have Stranger Things Season 4, Try to Escape the Curse of Vecna, The Exorcist, and Evil Reawakened, The Last of Us, Step into the World of The Last of Us, video game, Chucky, Ultimate Kill Count, Chucky's back for even more carnage, Universal Monsters Unmasked, very excited, you know I love my Universal Monsters, Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins, and this is gonna be, I guess, about the circus where he originated, which is a crazy story, Dueling Dragons Choose Thy Fate, amazing, that is a ride that was taken over by, or replaced with, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventures. It was a dueling roller coaster with ice and fire, and they're carrying that theme into the house. That could be amazing. That could be an absolute winner for this year. Yeti, Campground Kills. There was a Yeti house in a recent year that was fabulous, such a good house. So this one takes place in the 1950s, so that could be really cool. The Darkest Deal, Fame is Fleeting, Fear is Forever. So that's about a deal with a devil. That's cool. Blood Moon, Dark Offerings, Bleed for the Blood Moon. So these all sound really, really good. I mean, for me, I'm hyped for all of them. I always love the original houses. Of course, I'm excited for Last of Us and Stranger Things, but a Yeti house could be incredible. I love my Universal Monsters. Dr. Oddfellow's Origins could be a really, really scary one. Darkest Deal, I love the folklore of that. Stories behind it, that's a really good one too. Of course, Dueling Dragons could be like, ugh, that could be a, we'll see, we'll see. They all sound interesting. We've recently been re-watching the original Scooby-Doo cartoons from the 60s, and they're so funny. The laugh track really threw me off, but now I kind of don't notice it anymore, but love seeing this Mystery Machine plushie. All right, we're back in the car. That was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun and made me even more excited.
As of today, everything, at least that we know of so far, has been announced. Another thing they announced we didn't talk about was the Dead Coconut Club will be back, and that is a club in City Walk that they transform into a Halloween Horror Nights themed bar. I have shown it in the past, and they're gonna have a new theme this year, so we'll definitely go out and check it out, right, and share it.
What a day. What a
Yeah.
day for announcements.
What a day for a daydream.
It used to be a long time ago, they just announced everything at the same time. Feels like old school.
Yeah, but then, you know, the past few years they've been announcing it little by little, and then kind of like announce all the rest
Yeah.
right before. And
So I have a question for you before we head out.
yeah,
Most anticipated houses.
I'm curious what they're gonna do with the monsters, with Phantom of the Opera, who is my favorite. Well, him and Dracula, they're a tie. Bride of Frankenstein too. Well, they're all three a tie. But I'm curious what they're gonna do with Phantom of the Opera. I think Dueling Dragons could be incredible. I think Yeti could be really good. Obviously, Stranger Things season 4, amazing season. And the whole time we were watching it, we were like, this would make an incredible Halloween Horror Nights house. So I'm excited to see what they'll do with that. I'm like gonna name everything. Last of Us, you know, The Exorcist. So we haven't seen the new movie, but let me tell you, that first movie is very, very scary. And I know that's the point of Halloween Horror Nights, but I watched it like when I was younger. Maybe I was too young to watch it, but it scared
Traumatized.
it traumatized me. It scared the pants off of me. And I can't stop thinking about all those scenes. Like, I guess it's a very, very well-made horror film because the scenes just stick in your mind and they're so traumatizing. But we will watch the new film.
Yeah, they did the old movie with the
Yeah.
house a few years ago.
Yeah, I
So it'll
remember.
be interesting to see a new take on this new movie, which when we first go through it, we're not going to know anything other than the trailer of what the movie's about.
Yeah, so they did release a trailer for the movie.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting doing a house that we have not seen the movie for.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say how hyped I am for it, but I think they'll probably do an incredible job.
Yeah, it will either make you like more excited for the movie
Yeah.
or more scared of what's going to come in the movie.
Yeah, true. And Chucky, we started watching the new show. We actually have to finish it, but I like it so far. So yeah, I'm excited for a lot, and it's hard to say what I'm most excited for. I love the original concepts, and I'm very curious about the, you know, the deal with the devil and the Yeti house and all that. But Sam, what are you most excited for?
Dueling Dragons house. I love Dueling Dragons. Original Dueling Dragons before it was rethemed Harry Potter. I love that ride. I love the theme. I love the queue for it. If it's anything like the queue with dragons fighting each other, and there's nods to like maybe other parts of Lost Continent that don't exist anymore, the Enchanted Oak Tavern or things like that, I just can't
Merlin.
wait. Merlin, yeah. So I just can't wait to see what's inside that house. I'm excited for Last of Us. The description mainly focused on the Pittsburgh area of Last of Us. And so I'm like wary that it's just going to be that, but I think it'll be cool to see it come to life.
Yeah, it's a very beautifully crafted world in the video game and in the series. So whatever section they focus on, I think the sets could be amazing. They could blow us away. That's what I'm hoping for.
I am, as you know, very much into the lore of Horror Nights. Oddfellow, all his new lore, his connections to the scare zones, his connections to even some of the houses, it seems.
Yeah.
So it's going to be real exciting for me to jump into that new take on something that has existed for a long time within Halloween Horror Nights.
So let us know what house and what scare zone you are most excited for, and I guess we'll wrap up for today, right?
I guess so. So for now, it looks like we know pretty much all there is to know about Halloween Horror Nights and what's coming.
Yeah, and it's shaping up to be an exciting year, so we will keep coming at you with fun videos. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will see you for the next video, and until then, as always, stay enthused. Bye! And stay spooky! you.